What is good, guys? Quick vlog today. I actually have the fucking house to myself for a few minutes, which is increasingly rare, and I just can't talk to my iPad when there's people around. I feel like a fucking crazy person. So just a few things I want to talk about. To start, I will be the first person to admit that the formula on this channel is getting increasingly stale. Maybe not for you guys, but definitely for me. It seems like, I tried the garage sale thing this summer, had, a fair amount of success with that, but I don't really like the garage sale community on YouTube because it's a lot of, people that have this, false sense of entitlement that feel like they're the only people that should get deals and everybody else is a reseller or a collector, whatever. It's just fucking super weird. So I wasn't really down with that. I'm kind of happy garage sale season is over. And, then there's, the vlogs, occasional loot's gone or whatever, maybe a collection video, but I'm bored, with YouTube, for lack of a better word. So I'm going to try new things, and I've always been, adamant about just, staying in my lane, just doing my thing, when I first started doing YouTube videos years ago, I definitely tried to conform to, the formula. I did, things that I didn't want to do, unboxing videos and, almost Wikipedia style, pickup videos where I would talk about, the developer, other games I worked on, when the game came out, a laundry list of fucking things that I felt like I had to say, and it felt, really forced, so I've since quit doing pickup videos, or not pickup videos, unboxing videos, and, pickup videos in that style. In fact, I erased a lot of that old shit, deleted it from my account because it was unauthentic, as far as, who I am and what I do YouTube for. So, I do recognize, I'll stay in my own lane. This is definitely an outsider YouTube channel. This isn't your run-of-the-mill YouTube channel. This shit is, improv jazz. This is fucking Moondog and Chick Corea. It's not pop country radio, I make long videos. They're probably a lot of, just me talking and stuff. This is not polished. This is very, just raw, outsider. This is the lane that I'm in, and I'm going to stay that way, but I do feel like the content that I'm putting out is getting stale, especially for me. So I want to try new things. I'm got a few ideas that I'm toying around with. I want to start doing some underrated games based on system, which I know isn't a new idea by any stretch of the imagination. It's been done to death, hidden gems, fucking whatever. But I feel like a lot of hidden gems videos, it's always the same games. Are they really hidden gems if every hidden gem is all the same fucking games as the next person? It's almost redundant and laughable at this point. So I think I want to try my hand at that a little more with designated videos. I also want to start a series about games that you can get at GameStop for under $2, which is just, a fucking crazy deal if you think about it. $60 or $40 game at one point, you can go to GameStop and get now for under $2. And decent games, too, so I think those are two things that I'm going to be pushing out in the future. And shortly, too. I've already recorded one of each, didn't like either. So I'm going to just redo them. Because something got lost when I was making it. I just felt very, contrived. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, 4 minutes. Fuck you, man. Stop talking. I've been playing some shit. I think that's what I'm going to go right into right now. Some things I've been playing. First is a fucking shooter I have been playing on Super Nintendo and just getting my fucking ass kicked, and it is Biometal by Activision, or at least published by Activision. I actually kind of forgot who developed it. Athena, maybe? Oh, why can't I remember? I see it every time I fucking start the game. I think it's Athena. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, this game is, I would say, what's the fucking word I'm looking for? Infamous. This game is infamous for its music. The Japanese version got a really nice soundtrack. Some kind of, like synth music. In the United States, we have a 2 Unlimited soundtrack, and I'm sure you're like, the fuck is 2 Unlimited? The Y'all Ready for This song, the Jock Jam shit. It's mentioned in every review of this game, and the reason everybody talks about it is because it's just fucking so awkward. It's super fucking awkward. It's really kind of distracting, and it's really weird when you start the game. A screen pops up that, even has the 2 Unlimited logo and everything, and fucking music sucks. It just does not fit. I fucking hate it. And I'm like a 90s kid. Like, I grew up with jock jams and hearing that song at, like, bowling alleys and fucking school dances, when I was trying to get my hands on some boobies and shit. And, it just does not fit in a fucking video game, man. And it's hard. This, I would say, is a really early bullet hell game, because the amount of bullets and enemies on the screen at once are pretty remarkable for the Super Nintendo era. I think this game is a little ahead of its time in some ways. But for some reason, the music really holds this game back for me. I find it pretty difficult. It's really dependent on how you use your shields and power-ups and stuff, and certain power-ups are much better than others. But I like it. Overall, I think it's a good shooter. But man, this fucking music is awful. I haven't beaten it yet. I've been playing this game for about a week, on and off, until frustration sets in, and I just want to fucking smash it with a hammer. But I'm like kind of like in the middle of the road about some things. I find that this game does really well, and I commend it for. But I mean, as I play these Super Nintendo shooters, I can't help but think they're just not very good. I mean, the Pocky and Rocky games are awesome, but they're, a different breed of shooter. But these typical, like, side-scrolling space shooters on Super Nintendo, they're just not for me. I'd rather play them on the Genesis. I know the TG16 is where it's at for this era, but I've never even played a TurboGrafx 16. It's like some rich kid shit. But, yeah, man, I just increasingly get disappointed by the Super Nintendo shooters. I know, like, Space Megaforce and Axelay are fucking fantastic, but those aren't games that I personally own. So I'm always trying to, get these cheap, this is a cheap game, right? And they're just not very good, no matter how many times I try and force it. But all that said, I think this game does some interesting things, especially with, the early bullet hell. So, yeah, I mean, I don't not recommend this game. It's hilarious if you just want to play it for, laughs for the music department. It's not a bad game. It's definitely not a great game. And I fucking can't beat it. On, normal mode, I could probably get through the game on easy mode. I haven't even tried hard mode yet, but, I just want to, play the game how the developers intended it to be played, before I start fucking around with different difficulties and shit. So, yeah, been playing that, not, religiously, an hour, in the morning or evening or something, you know what I mean? A little bit, not, a ton. The main game I've been playing on my handhelds is one that I got, I can't even remember. A while ago, this was in, the bargain bin. I was looking through a bargain bin at a game store in my old city, and it was, all crap. There was a game in there that I wish that I had bought that I, passed on, which was a PlayStation 2 game called, I think it was called Raw Danger. It was an Age-Tech game, I think, and it was, a survival game. Not a survival horror game, but, a survival, natural disaster game or something. And I passed on it, stupidly, in favor of getting this game. But this game is good. And like I said, it was just a couple bucks. I know nothing of the value now, so I can't really speak on that. But it's a lot different than what I thought it was going to be, and I picked it up because it was a complete DS game, and it was published by Atlas. I am a fucking hype beast, fucking Atlas fanboy when it comes to, like, the DS especially. And by the cover of this thing, I did not know what to expect. It's called Drone Tactics. It looks really weird, like the graphics on the back. I wasn't really sure what I was getting into. But this game is a fucking awesome, like, tactics game, strategy, like, tactics game, like, Advance Wars, or, like, not quite Fire Emblem, but like that, like, grid-based style tactics game, and it is fucking really good, like, way, way better than I thought it was going to be. And when I first started playing this game, I'm like, this game fucking sucks. I'm going to hate the shit because it's really, the story is, like, kind of feels really forced and childish and tropey, and I did not like it at all, and I still don't care for the story much at all. And what kind of surprised me about that is, though this game was published by Axis, what the fuck am I talking about? Atlas, it was developed by Success, and personally, I like a lot of the stuff that Success does. They're one of my favorite developers, especially from the DS era. They just done some great things, and so despite my thoughts about, like, the story and where it was headed and just how bad it was, and, like, it kind of reminded me of, like, Pokemans or the Digimans, like the way the characters looked, and they were, like, younger and childish and everything. I pressed on and was rewarded with fantastic tactics gameplay, and I know it might sound crazy, but I feel like this game was developed, like, maybe for a younger audience, because of the characters and the story, but the gameplay is fucking solid and addictive and fun. It's great, man. The menu system is, like, just really easy to navigate, very fluid. Battles don't feel like they drag on, and it's just a lot of fun, and one that, like, I went into not really expecting much, and I have been very, very impressed with this game. I've been playing it, I don't know, ever since I beat Great Greed on the Game Boy. This is what I decided to play for a handheld game, and man, I don't know, like, I was just very, very, very surprised. And I would definitely recommend this game if you're into tactics games, especially, like, Advanced Wars. It's the game that just comes to mind immediately. Very good. Success in Atlas. I mean, I never hear anybody talk about this game. I did a quick, like, YouTube search to see if there was much out there about this. I didn't really see much. There was a review, but it was, like, one of those reviews where, like, somebody's, like, holding a camera, like, over their DS. It was probably, like, made in, like, 2011 or something like that, and I can't fucking watch that shit, man. It just gives me a fucking headache. I'd rather just see somebody's fucking head and listen to them talk about the game than watch that shit. But, yeah. Very good game. Very underrated. I don't know. This game, I just want to reiterate this. I fucking could care less about the story. I mean, it's kind of got its teeth into me now that I've invested so much time into it. But, the gameplay is what's, kind of made me press through the subpar story, easily. But, now that I've kind of gotten over that hurdle, now I'm kind of interested in knowing what happens with the story, if that makes any sense. So, Drone Tactics on the DS, wow, definitely caught me by surprise. So, that's what I've been playing on the handheld front. And in the console world, this is a game that I borrowed. This is not my game, so I've been playing it every night this week. I've already beaten it, but right now I'm trying to get a different ending. And it's a pretty short game. The reason I didn't buy the game when it came out, A, I'm broke. B, I can't be buying games. You know, my baby can't shit in games. But the main thing is it's like 7 hours long. So what the fuck am I gonna do with that, right? But it has some replay value, I would say, definitely, because there's different choices you can make and stuff. Anyway, it's Until Dawn on the PS4, and so, man, I went into this game like pretty open, you know, like not really expecting much of anything, and I can say in the first hour of this game I was like, yep, it's good. I really like it. It's full of quick time events. It's got bad dialogue, jump scares, you know, things that I tend to not care for in games, especially quick time events and jump scares. I just don't like jump scares. I'm more atmosphere over jump scares type of guy with horror games. But something about this game and the setting and stuff, the jump scares just kind of work, and the cheesy dialogue is just spot on for what this game is trying to do. It's trying to be, you know, a slasher B-movie type of game, and it hits that note, and it just runs with it, and I think it is phenomenal. And I don't want to give too much away in talking about the ending that I got or anything like that, but I will say I wasn't able to keep my party alive, everybody. You know, some died, some lived, so I'm replaying it now, trying to keep them all alive, trying to make those right choices without a guide, and hopefully I can do that before Monday, because I told my friend I'd give this game back to him Monday when I saw him, and yeah, really, really enjoying it. I think it's fantastic. It's one of those games that I'm definitely going to get when it hits like $20 mark or whatever. The twist in this game, honestly, I could say I kind of saw that coming, but there's clues and stuff. I think they want you to kind of figure out the twist and stuff as the game goes on. I really enjoyed finding all the clues and stuff. It's really good, and it definitely goes some places I didn't think it was going to, based on just what I heard or what I thought I knew about the game. But really impressed. I know I've been kind of like giving the PlayStation 4 a lot of shit for just not much coming out for the system that I want to play, but I played a lot of horror games over the month of October, primarily on the PS2. Well, a lot of my favorites, you know, but I really was interested in checking this out, so, you know, even though October's over, I'm getting this in, you know, right at the end. So, great game, man. I can see this game making my top 10 of 2015 games for sure. Just, it's a lot of fun, and it looks really good. Yeah, definitely happy with this game. Oof. And I'm definitely happy that I didn't get it on release, because I feel like the story just kind of does fly by. It's pretty short. I think my second playthrough is, of course, going to be a lot shorter than my first one. My first one took me about 9 hours or something, and I imagine my second one will probably take me 6 or 7. So yeah, not much else to say about that. Really impressed with this game. That said, I do see it being in the bargain bin, and, you know, probably Black Friday this game will be $25, $20. So, Until Dawn, good stuff. And let's see, the last thing I just really wanted to talk about was a package that I got from my homie Bubs, Bubbling here on YouTube. He texted me, said that he had some stuff to send me, and I kind of knew what one item was, so I'll show that first. And I'm so fucking happy to finally get this, and it is the Munchables on the Wii. Probably the last, like, really, I don't know, hard to find game, at least for me, that I was looking for. This game, you know, it used to be everywhere, and then it just kind of, all the copies dried up pretty fast. And Bubs was having the same problem as me with finding this game. He found a copy for himself, and then he was looking out for me as well. And he came across a couple copies, but they weren't complete. And I was having similar issues. I was usually just finding disc-only copies. He was finding just disc-in-case copies. But finally, he did find one that was, you know, like, in the case and stuff with the cover art. And I said, you know what, just grab that one for me. He's like, too late, already passed, because I, like, missed his text by, like, an hour or two or something. And then, lo and behold, his next stop, he did find a complete for the complete police. So really happy to get this super fucking weird game. One of the weirdest. I don't even know like what to compare this to. So my Wii collection, I think I'm at about like 100 games now. I might do a Wii library video just because I said that when I hit 100 I was gonna like do an updated video. Now that doesn't mean I'm done getting Wii games, because it seems like there's always new Wii games that I'm hearing about that I am interested in checking out, especially if they're like $1 or $2. And that's where the Wii kinda, I don't know, like that's the pitfall that I kind of fall into with the Wii, is like there's just so many weird games that like I'm interested in at least trying. They cost like $1 to $3, so probably pick up a few more. But this was like the last like big Wii game, because like at GameStop the game is, you know, a couple dollars, but on eBay it's like 15 to 25. So happy to get that. I am missing the free character decal. Not a big deal, but I would, if I ever come across one, that would be cool, because it's kind of a really, kind of a cool looking decal, actually. It's like really 90s. And the other thing he sent me, I just gotta take the note off real quick. I'm not gonna read the note, except he does say, no worries with the complete police here, your homie Bubbling. So this is a game I picked up, and it's like an inside joke. I did pick this game up loose a few months back, and he found a couple of complete copies, and he grabbed one for me. So very, very grateful. So I got to find something good to send Bubs. And it is Avalon Code on the DS. And for the complete police, here you go. It is not currently in the case because it is in the little pouch of my DS case, because it is on deck to be played when I finish Drone Tactics. So very good. Oh, I almost forgot. That's all the stuff Bubs sent me. So big shout out to Bubs. Go check out his channel if you haven't yet. I don't know why you wouldn't have. I shouted him out like a half dozen times at this point. The other game that I finished recently, I forgot to talk about this earlier, was Shovel Knight. And Shovel Knight was much harder than I anticipated. This game kicked my ass. I really just sat down with it and just worked my way through it. Really suck at these games. I've always sucked at platformer games. Shovel Knight is no exception, but I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I consider this a 2015 release as well, because the physical edition came out in 2015. Guaranteed this makes my top 10 games of 2015. Really, really enjoyed it. Solid game. I know a lot of people have praised it, so I'm not going to say, you know, too much and just be super redundant. But, man, for a genre of games that I suck at and I'm really not a big fan of, I thought this was excellent. And so happy to see games like this getting a physical release. And, again, it's in the little pouch of my case because I did just finish it. But I did want to show... Well, I don't want to show that. There's a little voucher in here for the soundtrack that I haven't used yet. But the manual on this thing, full color, huge manual. It's just something you don't see in 3DS games at all anymore. So, impressed with that. Yacht Club is doing some amazing things. I hope they continue to bring out great games, especially at the retail level. At first I was annoyed by the price jump, but in all actuality, I did some investigating, and it was kind of my own fault on this one, because I pre-ordered mine and my brother's copies when the game was first announced at the GameStop in my old city, and then I canceled my pre-orders when I moved, and then had them transferred to another GameStop in my city now. And when they do that, it's a really kind of a pain in the ass for them. They actually have to like look you up on their system, call the old store that you have your pre-orders at, and then they like add whatever you have down to a gift card, right? And then they tell that gift card number to the person on the other end of the phone in the city that you're in currently, and then they reopen a pre-order. So they're canceling the pre-order and then starting another one. So even though when it came out it was at $19.99, since they had to reopen a pre-order, the new one was at $24.99 or whatever. And you know, I probably should have been like, listen, like as that happened, like that's not right. But I didn't know at the time. I didn't know until I picked it up. But that's why they didn't honor it, I believe, or they probably would have if I had stuck with my initial pre-order. I know it's all like schematics, whatever the fucking word, semantics, whatever. You guys probably don't care, but there was some questions about that in my last video, and then, you know, that made me curious as well, like what the fuck happened. But that's where the fault lies in that, which I felt like was kind of interesting in case you guys were interested as well. So that's about it. I have, let's see, a game I've been really excited about comes out this week, and I'm not talking about Fallout. I am looking forward to Fallout 4, don't get me wrong. I think the Fallout games are awesome, just like everybody else. But Rodea on the Wii/Wii U comes out on Tuesday, the same day as Fallout, so kinda weird. I was talking to the guy at the GameStop that's right by my crib currently, and he said I was the only person that pre-ordered it. Keep in mind this is a pretty large city, so I thought that was kind of weird. Maybe there's some pre-orders open at other GameStops in the city, and that was the only copy that they received, because he like let me look at it because it came in a shipment. So yeah, weird. And that game comes out for the Wii U and the 3DS, but the Wii U version, the initial launch copies come with a Wii version as well. So 2 discs, kind of like Bayonetta, except 1 disc is for your Wii U and 1 disc is for your Wii, and there is some variances. There's differences in the controls. There's different mechanics between the games. Obviously different textures. And I watched a really good review, a very in-depth review by a guy in another country. I'm not sure where he was from, but I don't know if he got an advanced copy or if it came out in his region first. But he really broke down the differences between the Wii and the Wii U. And he was actually leaning towards the Wii version as being the better version of the game. Not so much in the visual department, but in like the gameplay and the controls. He said it's an instance. There's no nunchuck, but he said the Wii U remote works really good, and that some of the mechanics that were changed for the Wii U version he didn't really like, and thought that the Wii version was more of the original idea of what the game should be. So I thought that was really interesting. So not quite sure which one I want to play first. Probably the Wii version. But I don't know if then I'm going to want to hop right into the Wii U version, or if I'm going to want to take a break. I'm not sure how long the game is, but it's a game I've been following closely. I am really excited about it. It is by the developer of Sonic. I can't think of his name, but I'm not a big fan of Sonic whatsoever. But some of the other stuff he's worked on, I did really like Knights. That game was so cool to me. I'd never played it until TG sent me the Christmas version, which I thought was fantastic. And he also worked on Ivy the Kiwi, which is another game that I think is phenomenal, and Fishing Resort, which is a fucking quirky little game that I haven't put a ton of time into, a couple hours, but what I played I thought was very enjoyable. So yeah, despite me not being the biggest Sonic fan in the world, it's still a game that I've been really anticipating, just because it's such a weird release, and I think it's going to be one of the weirdest games on the Wii U, and it's published by NIS, which is even weirder. I think originally Xseed really wanted to bring that game out, but for some reason NIS ended up bringing it out, which is bizarre. It's really bizarre to me. So I'm not sure what the 3DS version plays like or anything like that. I might get that when it hits bargain bin level, which I'm sure it will eventually, unless it's like, you know, really rare or fucking whatever. I think that's all I had to talk about for the most part. yeah, I don't know. There was like other shit I wanted to say. Probably just want to fucking rant and shit, but I'm not going to. Rant and rave, these damn kids. Let me know what you guys have been playing. Have you played Until Dawn? Are you waiting for that price drop like I am? But I just couldn't wait any longer, so I ended up having to borrow a copy. Have you played Drone Tactics? Are you interested in Drone Tactics? Did you know that Drone Tactics existed? What's your favorite success developed game? And are you a fan of Two Live Crew? Y'all ready for this?